Is Islam designed for stupid people? Do low IQs help Islam persist as a religion? Well, based on the jaw-dropping admissions in this debate, you would think so.
So here's the thing, though, right? This is still not a refutation of my argument. The historical standard is Christians had lower IQs back in the day. Yeah, and they didn't build modern civilization back in the day. Modern civilization requires professional middle management, 100 to 115 IQ, right? 85 to 100 for skilled labor. What they're talking about is just basic day laborers. These people are very low IQ. And by the way, I'm going to even make the claim that they're really choosing Islam anyway. They can't really think about it that hard, right? So the question becomes, right, as we're kind of diving into this, I just want to point out one more time, the argument is around a singular Christian principle. The singular Christian principle is that we're not allowed to marry our first cousins. That's in our ecclesiology. And I don't care if you're a Protestant, right? Almost no Protestants do this, right? No Catholics do this. Orthodox, this is forbidden as well. It's not that you couldn't find some sect somewhere, some small society somewhere which practices it. I'm sure that that's the case, but by and large and overwhelmingly it's not. With Islam, the opposite's true. By and large and overwhelmingly they do. So we're basing this on a singular principle, which is Christian, and that's what I want a refutation for. Why is marrying your first cousin for the purpose of building low IQ societies better than not doing that?
Go ahead, Daniel.
Again, it's not a causal relation. Islam doesn't mandate marrying your cousin. It's not like we're saying we want to keep IQ low, so marry your cousin. You keep getting the causal chain wrong about this. The second point that I want you to address is that when we look at IQ increasing, that is associated with more atheism. It is directly correlated with higher levels of atheism. The higher the IQ goes, the more people become atheists. This is a bad thing. I would assume that Christians would agree more atheism is a bad thing. I think that, yes, modern society is not all it's cracked up to be. I don't know if you guys have been looking around, but it seemed like I've felt, at least myself, that over the past 5 years especially, first with the pandemic and now everything that's happening in the world where World War III is about to break out, I think the modern world is a dystopia. I am waiting for, nuclear holocaust to destroy us all. I don't believe in this absolute value of modern society, and therefore I don't agree with your premise that high IQ is something valuable in and of itself. There are many things to point out being wrong or bad with high IQ. Again, I prefer to turn the clock back 200 years, where Christians had these traditional Christian societies. Muslims had traditional Muslim societies. Yeah, you didn't have a laptop. You didn't have internet. You didn't have cars. But guess what? You didn't have to worry about your wife having to, being in college and sleeping with every frat boy in the university, and you don't even know her history because of feminism. You have like LGBT degeneracy. You have elderly who are being shipped off to old folks' homes because there's not a strong family unit to take care of our own elderly. Children are being shipped off to daycares because there's not a strong family, strong marriage, mom at home with traditional roles to take care of the children. I prefer the low IQ. I prefer the low technology society.
We have to switch it over. Andrew, 90 seconds.
Can I just point this out? That none of those degenerate things that he just pointed out, which I agree with him, are the cause of IQ. I think you're having the problem with the causal link, sir. Let's point this out. And this is really important to point out. One more time, he didn't contend with the argument. The argument is, how do you make a superior society which is better for society? And you know what? All you've done right now is just argue this. Literally, I'm Daniel Kikikachu, and I prefer a low IQ society. That's his argument. Now, look, I did not expect you to bite the bullet that you would have a preference for a low IQ society, and therefore we should continue to have sex with our family members to achieve said low IQ society. But over here on the Christian side, well, we're just not willing to do that. So here's what's really important here to remember as the argument structure goes on. Daniel is literally giving a prescription at this point. He's giving you an ought. We ought to have dumb fucking people. That is his ought. My ought is different. My ought is you being intelligent does not restrict you from Christianity or Christian ethics, And we look at the IQ differentials in Christian nations, and we can see firsthand that that is true. So the thing is these are not mutually exclusive claims. When he says higher IQ leads to secularism, I could just as easily say higher IQ leads to Christianity, because all the Christians are way higher IQ. So the thing is like, which of those moral values do you not prefer? Which of them?
I cannot believe he said this out loud. This is beyond embarrassing. And yet there's clearly truth in it. Lack of education is a major factor in Islam's existence, and there is plenty of evidence to support this.
M. Stephen Fish found that in Muslim countries, women have lower life expectancies and lower levels of literacy. Not only are women abused more in Islam, they even have shorter lives and less education. It is clear Muslim women do not have the same respect and equality that they get in Christian societies. What's interesting is this study looked at the effects of when Christians moved into India. Christian missionaries began a massive education campaign, and the results speak for themselves. This study found that Muslims had on average 15 literate girls per 1,000, Hindus had on average 21 literate girls, and then Christians dwarfed these numbers by having on average 203 literate girls per 1,000. Similar results were found in Africa. Education tended to decrease in historic Islamic regions, whereas in places like the Gold Coast, due to Christian missionary influence, education increased. Back in India, another study found similar results with education, but also health outcomes. They say Muslim women are comparably less literate, marry at a younger age, and are less likely to work. Christian women have the highest literacy rates in our sample, marry at older ages, and work at rates higher than those of upper caste Hindu and Muslim women. They also found with the addition of controls for possible endogeneity in the location of missions, infant Christian girls in the full sample are 3.702 standard deviations taller, and Muslim infant girls are 2.1 standard deviations taller than lower caste Hindu girls. So not only are girls better respected in Christianity, they're more educated and healthy at birth.
And if you think this is just in underdeveloped countries, here are some stats from the UK.
Let me show you some statistics from the UK government's own website. People who identified as Muslims were more likely than the overall population to have no qualifications. So the least educated people, look at that, 25.3%. Sikhs, 22%. Christians, 20.8%. Again, this should be around about 50-60%, just to be equally represented. Hindus are doing really well. Hey, no religion. Atheists, we're doing pretty well, actually. No wonder we're the most educated class. Okay, last one. People who identified as Christian had a higher percentage of people in employment than the overall population. So Christian people work a lot. Atheists are right up there as well. Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Muslims do not work. So Muslims are the least employed people. And when they are not employed, you know what that means? They get welfare payments. So it's not just a crime. They're also draining your resources as well.
IP, you already
IP2.
You already reviewed this. AP's reviewing it now.
You too.
I think we have to review it again because I'm not going to see it right now. So we'll have to review it again and then maybe revisit it once per week for the next year until people see the problem with this. Yes, we want people to be low IQ. That's good for Islam, and it's the only way.
I prefer the low IQ societies. I prefer the low technology societies.
Why do you want to be smart? Just be retarded. Being retarded is better. What's wrong with you? We all have to be retarded. It's much better to be stupid.
Dude, direct quote in the debate. We want to take you back 200 years. Direct quote in the debate.
We want to take you back 200 years and take you down 50 IQ points, and then everyone will be Muslim.